Hi everybody, welcome back to day 2 of the Daily December Art Challenge here on Planning with John. I have my notebook, I've got some supplies. A lot of them are the same supplies I used yesterday because that's what I had out. And let's get taking a look inside of our notebook. Hope you had fun on day 1, snowman. Let me get my pencil and my eraser out. Got to find my pencil. I need to clean out this pen pouch. It's become a resting spot for way too much stuff. So we have in my passport the insert that I made that I'm using. So day 1 was snowman. Day 2 is ornament. Little Miss Lila is up here. She might try to make a room for her on the table, but there is no room for her on the table. And here's what I did for day 1, snowman. Just, a bunch of snowman friends hanging outside, playing in the snow. She's jumping everywhere, so we'll see what happens. I think of Christmas ornaments or baubles or things like that. I think of bulbs. I think of kind of like icicle-y looking things. Ornaments can come in a variety of shapes and sizes. I'm going to be using, the same tools that I used last time. I'm going to be using, of course, my insert that I'm going to be drawing in right here. I'm going to be using a pencil. I'm going to be using an eraser of some sort. I've got my Viviva watercolor sheets. And then I also have some Derwent pencils and the husband texting me like normal. That seems to be what we do here. Oh, and for the watercolor, I have an Arteza water brush that you've seen I've used along. And I've got also like a glass container here of water to help make the cleaning a little bit easier. So, first thing we're gonna start with is a pencil. Ornaments can become in a variety of sizes and shapes. So, like the most basic one you'll find will be like circular ones. And if you wanted to, you could use a stencil for this. I've got this right here. It is a helix, and it's got a lot of different, and let's actually do that. I don't make the most round circles. So, like there's one, and we can do them in a variety of sizes. Like here's another one. If we wanted to, if you notice, see this thing spins. There we go. So you can use this variety of different ways. So there's a couple of circles. Another type that I remember seeing as a kid are those ones that kind of look like they're metal and they kind of come to a point, and they've got these like curved, they're like made out of some sort of a metal that looks like it's like twisted and wrapped. If that makes sense. And so like, they have these fun little so like this will be red, white, or silver. Red, red, red. Now with these ones, these bulbs, you can do so much with these. They always have some sort of a topper that's usually either like gold or silver. We'll put a little topper on this as well. And sometimes you'll find a variety of ornaments. Sometimes they'll have decorations on them. Like this one, we could do a simple little tree. Maybe have there be 2 lines. We can have just, I remember my grandmother having these ones that were really pretty. They were bulbs that were kind of like magentas and golds, and they were like striped and glittery. They were so pretty. What else could we do? We'll do 2 lines there. We'll do a line down here. And I'm just curving it to help show the curvature of the bulb. There we go. I remember my grandmother having these ornaments that were, let's use this size of a circle. And you don't have to have a circle stencil, it's okay. But they how do I, they kind of looked like a large jingle bell. And you know how jingle bells have that small circle line thing, so you can hear it jingle, if that makes sense. So there's a large jingle bell. You can use some of the other, any sort of a prompt that we have can be an ornament. Like this one, I think you'll know what it is. It's a stocking. I kind of made it a little too crazy shaped. You know, they always have that tag sticking up. There we go. So just, it doesn't have to be anything hard or challenging, but let's have some fun with the Viviva sheets. And first thing we're gonna do is make this one kind of basic. And when I say basic, I don't mean basic in a bad way. I mean traditional. We're gonna do like red and white stripes for this one. Let me get some of my water over here. I know this is an aqua brush, but I sometimes like to have water here nearby. So that way I don't waste all of the water in here that I need when I'm trying to actually paint. And I'll even dip it in there every once in a while. So we're gonna use the red that we used yesterday, the crimson. It's a very pretty, pretty red. Okay. And I'm just gonna go in these parts that I put that letter R in. You might hear the puppy snoring. He's seated near me. And I'm just putting some color in. Nothing. I really should have erased those R's. We'll see what we can do about that. And this is just a fun sketchbook. Nothing has to be perfect. There is no such thing as perfect anyways. There's just what we're doing right here and right now. The last year, art and journaling has really helped save me. It's been, for everybody, an incredibly challenging time. And I'm sure you've noticed my not as frequent of an appearance here on my YouTube. And that's because there were things that I needed to do in order to take care of me. And it's really what they say. It has nothing to do with you. It had everything to do with me. You know, the previous 4 years were stressful, to say the least. There we go. Now, since we just used that red, now we'll make the stocking a different color. We won't do traditional red. Let's see. What I want to do, since I talked about like magenta earlier, I want to do some, in this one here, some magenta stripes. I can tell I touched that. There we go. I made these kind of small, didn't I? What color should we make the other? One thing that's nice is the colored pencils I'm using have a lovely magenta. So I can clean this up with that colored pencil. Maybe like magenta and a turquoise or something? Would that look pretty together? And we're gonna put just a little down here on the bottom, just to kind of... Okay, we gotta let that dry before we do something with the other colors. Now, let's do the tree in here. We used a pretty sap green yesterday, and that's what we're gonna do today for the tree. I'm gonna really make sure I've got the pink out of there from the magenta. Okay, ooh, I got water up there. I gotta be careful when I'm splashing about in those low dishes. Okay. What we will do is we'll do the tree green. See how pretty that green is? We'll do this line down here too. Make sure the water's out. And we'll touch that up, we'll clean that up. The bell. Why don't we make the bell a pretty color? I can't remember exactly what these colors look like. So I've got some scratch paper here in a journal. I want to see what the gold ochre looks like again. Get her. Let's try that again. So that's the golden ochre. That might be a nice color for the bell. I can't remember what the yellow, the chrome yellow looks like. You know what I wonder? What if we put a little bit of this down and then that down over it to kind of show some highlights, because those are really pretty colors and I think they would work well together on this cute little gold bell. Sorry, like everything is dinging today. I probably should have turned that off. Okay, so let's put a little bit of the chrome yellow down first. And then when that's dry, we'll go in certain places with the gold ochre. Okay, we have this color called Peacock Blue, which I think might work really pretty with this magenta. Yeah, let's do that. We're gonna give it a try, see what happens. And we can clean that up with the colored pencils, because there's a nice turquoise blue in there. See? Okay. Let's put the little brown for the stump of the tree. which we will use, let's see, probably this one here, Burnt Umber. That might be a little too much, but we'll see. Okay. Now, I think that turquoise might look nice up there and down there. Or I think they call it peacock, not turquoise. Yeah. I'm gonna put it down here just to kind of give the bulb a nice feeling. And I'm trying not to use too much water because I don't want it to flow too far. Let's see if we can make that a little darker, at least to match the bottom. There we go. Now, maybe we'll just use a regular, no, we're gonna have fun, and we're gonna make this stocking a color called Deep Pink. Here it is. I'm gonna turn this a little bit. I've got so much of that dye on my fingers now. It's called Deep Pink, but it looks like a pretty red. Like a maroony burgundy. Isn't that pretty? And there's a color in the pencils called Strawberry that this kind of reminds me of. That would be a nice color to touch it up. And we'll do the little tag up there. I've had these for a long time, and I wonder when these Viviva sheets will, you know, not work anymore. And I think this one, because it's so detailed, I'm just gonna use colored pencils on it. But let's go back with this one. And we wanted to put that golden ochre on it to see if we can really give it a kind of like a real bell look. And kind of leave a see that? Kind of makes it look much more bell-like. And the rest of the stuff we're gonna finish with colored pencil. So we can put our aqua brush away. We can put our Viviva sheets away. And even our paper towel. And I use that paper towel until like you can't use it anymore. So we're using the Derwent Chromaflow colored pencils, the 24 set. I think this is the maximum number that they have is 24. So the red that's closest to that red is their color called Scarlet. And actually here, let me get those out of the way so I can actually use my arm. All I'm gonna do is outline this. And we got a pretty good point from yesterday still. And I'm just gonna go outline over everything like this. And we're gonna do the little point down here. It's like one of those ornaments that is rounded. So this way it gives it a little bit of a dimension. And I wish I would have erased that R. There we go. Now, the way we can finish the topper is we can take their gray color called platinum. So that way it'll kind of make it look a little silverish. There we go. And let's do all of them that platinum color to begin with, that have a little metal topper. There we go. Now that one's done. That looks pretty. This one, we do have a peacocky turquoise color. And I'm just going to use it to kind of clean up these edges, especially down here between the two. And while we're still using that color, we can do that for this bulb over here. Just trying to make it look as pretty as possible. Now, we're gonna get the magenta color out. There it is, magenta. And I'm gonna trace around the whole bulb in magenta, just to kind of give it that glow. And of course, you didn't have to use the colors, the Viviva sheets. You could have just used pencils, because I'm kind of going over it a little bit. That looks so pretty. Now, let's do the stocking. There's a color here called strawberry that I think will go well with this. And if you wanted to make the toe and the heel a little darker, you can, or gently color it in. And I definitely want to make the tag a little bit darker. And if you wanted to show some shading in this, you could get that same platinum gray color out. And you know how that white part usually tends to be like fuzzy. Just do some loose swirls or curly cues in there, and it gives it the look of being fuzzy. Now, let's do the green. And I'm gonna go in with this color called basil or basil, whatever you want to call it. It's just a little bit deeper. It's a green that has a hint of blue with it, which kind of gives it that pretty foresty green color, or the color of basil. And if you need to turn your artwork, I'm just gonna go over it a little bit. I love mixing colored pencils and watercolors. There we go. What color should we do this? Something that I do want to get out is I want to get out this pretty little, I think it's called lilac. Yeah. This lilac color for the top of this and the bottom. I want to use the deep violet for the diamonds. Just to kind of give it a little something pretty. They look very similar, very similar. Now, we're going to use this blush pink for these other parts of the diamond. And there's no right, there's no wrong, there's just you having fun. Let's see, let's see. Let's use the magenta. It's gonna be a very festive color. And we need one bright color there because, I mean, why not, right? We'll go back to this, I think it's turquoise? Yeah, turquoise green. It's kind of like Tiffany green, or blue, or Tiffany blue, but with a little bit more green. See, isn't that great? And if we wanted to, we could put a little bit of this yellow on here. And we need to put one color around the tree. What color should we do? Should we do a lighter green? Like this foliage color? Let's see what that does. Oof. Let me first define my line. I know these aren't traditional Christmas ornament colors. I can't think of the last time we've celebrated Christmas because it's actually Hanukkah right now. Or at least for me, the last time I've celebrated Christmas. You can really hear the puppy snoring, can't you? And I did go out of the lines just a little bit. This boxy eraser is pretty good at erasing colored pencil. There, see? Just those little fresh. There we are. Day 2 ornament. And I'm going to do it again in pencil. I'm going to do it up here. I've got eraser in my fingers. And I'm just using a little font. I should have checked. Ornament. And let's get the date. We're going to use our stamp. Oop. Yeah, December 2nd. Let me double check to make sure that that's going to be the right way. Yes. I always check now before I stamp, and I'll put it down here because I know it should fit up here. There we go. So there we are, December 2nd ornament. And use your imagination. They can be whatever you want them to be. These are just the things that I had thought up. And just to show you, here was my little sample that I had done. So I hope to see you back for day 3. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.